This old man is in despair. This man was raising his finger to signal the old man to absolutely not make a sound. But someone like him who was falling into the depths of pain couldn't help but scream. The man quickly grabbed his son and turned to run away. He fled under the tree and covered the child's mouth. It's come. The old man was killed by a monster. It turned out that the old man's wife was massacred by a monster, so he did not want to live alone, under the protection of the father. The father and son were lucky to escape. This type of monster has a very sensitive hearing. Just a sound it can make it immediately go and kill. Sound became the deciding factor of survival. No one can know what the weak point of this monster, to maintain absolute silence. This family of 4 was lucky to survive. They communicated with each other based entirely on body language. They lived in the basement. They glued a very thick layer of paper to insulate the sound. They also cook on the ground. Kitchen utensils are not plates and knives, but use leaves. The father used all his knowledge to protect the family, because he wanted to observe the space around their place. He installed a camera, because he wanted to notify the bad situation. He designed a signal light to replace the phone. He even spread scent on the pavement, to avoid making noise when walking. This is the responsibility of a father. He tried to signal outside to call for help, but there was no response. It seems that there are really no survivors in the city, because he wanted his deaf daughter to be able to hear every sound. It was also because he wanted her to be able to protect herself. He built his daughter a hearing aid, but his daughter refused to accept this item. Moreover, she misunderstood that her father was distanced from her. She also always insists that all the unexpected things that year, she will bear on her own. 1 year ago, a family of 5 went to the supermarket in town to buy goods. On the way back, while crossing the bridge, the son was so eager to play that he turned on the toy plane. The sound from the plane made the husband feel that something was wrong. In spite of everything, he rushed to his son. The wife also covered her mouth, not daring to scream. At this moment, a figure appeared in the forest. In the end, the husband still couldn't be faster than the monster. The boy was killed by the monster. Originally, when they were at the supermarket to buy goods, this toy plane had already been removed by the husband. He also told the boy that the plane would make a sound, so the boy absolutely couldn't play, but his daughter wanted her brother to be happy. The girl silently gave the plane to her brother, and the boy took the battery with him. So everything that happened on the bridge made the sister extremely regretful. She always felt that she was the killer who killed her own brother. The girl went to the bridge where her brother happened, then cut off the power cord on the toy plane, and silently stood looking at the tombstone in front of her. In fact, the husband never resented his daughter. Even for his daughter, he tried to research the hearing aid, and experimented countless times. A year later, the wife is pregnant, and with this growing belly, she still absolutely does not make a sound. That day when the mother was in the basement washing clothes, when she went upstairs, she accidentally caused a nail to protrude. After drying her clothes, she felt her stomach hurt. Her water has broken. The wife, clutching her stomach, hurriedly went down to the basement and accidentally stepped on the nail earlier, causing her to make a very loud sound. It was only a matter of time before the monsters came here. At this time, her daughter was still at the bridgehead, and her husband was still taking her son to catch fish. She endured the pain to lift her leg. She clearly understood that her scream earlier had caused quite a stir. Judging from that sound, the monster must have heard it. Women are inherently weak, but when they become mothers, they are very resilient. She went to the control room, then turned on the warning light to notify family members outside that the house was very dangerous. She had just walked upstairs. The monster appeared. It's dangerous. She was still determined to keep quiet and confront the monster. Fortunately, she found an alarm clock and set a timer for it. The monster has gone downstairs. She sat in a corner trying to be quiet. At this moment, the alarm bell rang. The alarm bells caught the monster's attention. It turns out that the thing that can have the biggest effect on monsters is the sound. Taking this opportunity, she quickly went upstairs. She was about to step out. Another monster appeared outside the door. She just had to go to the bathroom and sit in the tub. Blood was slowly coming out. Her face was trying to endure the pain. Every woman has to scream in pain when giving birth, but she doesn't. She absolutely didn't make any sound, but her ragged breathing was already heard by the monster. Fortunately, the husband and son returned in time. Seeing the warning lights on, the husband became aware of the monster's arrival. The husband instructed the son to light a firework to make a loud noise that can attract the attention of the monster, and he went to get the gun. Soon the monster found her, and she clenched her fists into the tub, trying to endure the pain. Fortunately, the son was able to light the fireworks. The fireworks blew up and exploded in the air. Under the tremendous sound of the fireworks, she let out a long-suffering scream of pain. The husband quickly walked over with a gun and found his wife and daughter in the bathroom. The sister saw the fireworks and quickly returned home and found her brother. Turns out, after lighting the firework, the younger brother hid here. They went to the barn and burned wood to wait for help. On the side, the husband took his wife to the basement and put his newborn baby in a box. This box soundproof. At the same time, he also put on the baby's oxygen bottle, then closed the lid. After everything is sorted, he quickly went to save his son and daughter. When he went out, the plumbing system in the house was broken by a monster, but he did not realize this. Soon, the entire basement room was submerged in water. The sound of the baby crying could still be heard outside. The monster has gone down to the basement. The wife injured her leg but still got into the water and carefully came to hug her baby little by little. She was afraid of making a noise. Facing the monster, she gently took a step back. She relied on the sound of water to ease the monster's hearing. She slowly backed away from the water. She dared not speak, not even dare to breathe, because only quiet, the monster in front of her would not detect and harm her. At this time in the warehouse, while waiting for his father to save him, the son fell down. The door made a very loud sound. The sound at the warehouse drew the monster's attention. Thanks to that, the mother's side was also temporarily safe. But what about her children? The husband watched as the monster was running towards the warehouse. He also hurriedly ran towards that. Even if he had to use his life to protect his children, he volunteered. The son was getting more and more submerged in the corn pile. One side of the door also accidentally fell below, but fortunately did not fall on the boy. Wanting to save her brother, the daughter jumped down and pushed the door towards the boy. The two of them leaned against the door so they didn't sink. They were also aware that the sound just now was not small. That sound has already been heard by the monster. Suddenly, a monster jumped down. In an emergency, the two of them used the door as a shield. Fortunately, the monster's claws that pierced the door didn't hit them. Suddenly, a sound came from the hearing aid. It turned out that as soon as the monster approached her, the hearing aid made an annoying sound. A monster with a sensitive hearing like it couldn't stand this sound. The monster quickly left, but the daughter did not realize it was the hearing aid that saved them. They met their father again. The danger has not ended yet. The monster's voice appeared again. The husband took his children quickly to hide in a nearby car, and then he took the axe to defend. Suddenly, a flick of the monster's arm sent the father flying. The boy, because he loved his father, couldn't help. He screamed loudly. That sound attracted the monster to move to the side of the vehicle, but now the hearing aid was making a sound again. Because the sound was very annoying in the ear, the daughter turned off the hearing aid. Monsters had nothing to fear now. It began to attack the car in a frenzy. The injured husband tries to stand up. Seeing his children in danger, he dropped the axe. He knew that the axe could not save his children. He used body language to tell his children, "I love you," and then he screamed loudly to get the monster's attention to turn to him. This was also the last time he was able to resist the monster. The daughter shook her head. Then, taking this opportunity, the two kids drove away in the car. The three of them reunited. The monster's voice appeared again. They quickly hid in the basement. She saw on the table all the components to make a hearing aid. She cried soundlessly. The little girl finally understood how much her father loved her. The baby's cry sounded again, attracting the monster's attention. The wife took up the gun to defend. The daughter looks at the hearing aid in her hand. She thought of this hearing aid making a sound that scared monsters, so she tried putting it on her ear and turning on the device. Indeed worked. The monster trembled and couldn't stand, but the sound was too small, so she placed the hearing aid near the microphone. As expected, the sound emitted was louder. The power to threaten the monster was also greater. The monster fell to the ground. She breathed a sigh of relief. The monster came back to life. The mother opened fire and attacked, finally tackling the monster. It turned out through that strong signal sound, the monster seemed to have lost all of its strength. The sound of gunfire was heard by the other two monsters, and quickly rushed over. The girl picked up the microphone. The mother went to war again. The movie comes to an end. Although his father died, he still maintained the responsibility of protecting his entire family. Fear makes a sound, but love is always silent.